even more underenergized and sick. What you have left is someone who is unemployed or on sick leave, has very little self-esteem, confidence or self-worth, is struggling to find meaning in their life and their relationships, has little or no energy, eats sporadically and poorly, is over-reliant on alcohol, caffeine and nicotine, and has a dopamine addiction fed by an obsession with mobile devices, social media and email. So where do we go from here? If you've made the decision to listen to this book and are thinking this is me, and starting to feel anxious and panicky, don't worry. Making the decision to read this book is a massive first step, and as you progress through the chapters, you'll read about my personal experience and what I did to turn my life around, and discover what you can do to help yourself. For 10 years, I worked for large corporate and financial services companies based in the City of London. In that time, I sold to and managed some of the company's largest customers and closed deals worth hundreds of thousands of pounds. All of this required time spent in the office, at a computer, and in the local wine bars, networking and entertaining. After realising that my own stress levels were incredibly high, I recognised heavy alcohol consumption. If you like, I hit my rock bottom. That was in the early part of 2012. Since then, I've radically changed my life by reviewing aspects of my lifestyle that were damaging, reigniting my passion for life and strengthening myself physically and mentally by following the steps outlined in this book, and empowering myself to want to maintain good health and happiness. I did this partly by asking for other people's help, and I would recommend that you do the same. You'll see this theme running throughout the book. There is a remarkable power at force when two people focus on a common goal with an unswerving desire to make it happen. The framework behind my success is a methodology I now call the 6 signals. The 6 signals are sleep, mental health, energy, body composition, digestion, and fitness. I'll address each of the signals in detail in chapters 7 to 12, along with the principles of interconnected health. In this book, I'll show you the formula you can use to recover from and mitigate the risks of professional burnout, and go on to lead a successful life and career. I'll also talk about how to recognise the warning signals that indicate you could be heading for burnout. The book contains case studies from people who talk candidly about their experiences and how they rebuilt their lives. The book also includes anecdotes and quotations, and each chapter contains useful tips from experts, as well as clients, and the opportunity for self-reflection. All of this is supported with suggestions for further reading. This book is a must-listen for anyone in a high-pressure environment at any level. Whether you're just starting to see the telltale signs of burnout or already suffering its crippling effects, this book will help you to get clarity about where you currently are in life and give you the opportunity to benefit from my proven framework for a successful recovery. The underlying message carried throughout the book is that everyone has the ability to change their lives if they have a strong desire and belief that they can. 1. What is burnout? Busyness is our drug of choice, numbing our minds just enough to keep us from dwelling on all that we fear we can't change. A compilation of coping mechanisms we have become our fatigue. L.M. Browning, Seasons of Contemplation, a book of midnight meditations. As I established in the introduction, professional burnout is sadly not uncommon. The increasing prevalence of burnout is in large part due to aggressive and demanding aspects of the modern corporate culture that have become endemic in industries such as banking and finance, law, and to a degree amongst large accountancy and audit firms. Burnout is defined by the Merriam-Webster Medical Dictionary as exhaustion of physical or emotional strength or motivation, usually as a result of prolonged stress or frustration. Burnout is a progressive condition which, if left unchecked and not acted upon, can result in a complete breakdown of the central nervous system. It is a very dangerous and healthspan reducing condition that at best blights lives and at worst can result in loss of life. The signs and symptoms of burnout are often highly visible, but they can be easy to ignore, particularly if you're working in an aggressive corporate culture where any sign of strain might be perceived as weakness or an inability to do the job. There may also be a fear of loss of financial earnings. The symptoms of burnout are also easier to conceal if you live alone, as often the presence of a spouse, friend or family member means that you might be more likely to have a confidant, and that person will see abnormal behaviour and potentially take action. Measuring burnout. Social psychologists Christina Maslach and Susan Jackson developed the most widely used instrument for assessing burnout, namely the Maslach Burnout Inventory. The Maslach Burnout Inventory defines burnout as a three-dimensional